guys, and welcome to my video corner. The beautiful Leah is back and she's going to be helping me with this whole Monster High series. Now, I only have one son and he's 3 years old, so I wasn't as familiar with this Monster High craze as everyone else who has daughters. Or I was invited to do a party for my beautiful friend Juliet. Hi Mo, hi Juliet. And it was the whole theme. So I said, you know what, let me show you guys how to do some quick Monster High faces to match the costumes, especially because Halloween is right around the corner and some of you parents are thinking, what am I going to do? So I hope to make this super easy and simple for you and give you guys the full faces to get those kids in the real Halloween dressing up spirit. So thanks for joining me. I hope everybody is doing awesome. Purchased this costume at Party City. This is for Clawdeen Wolf. The whole show is based around the kids of some of these popular monsters, so to speak. But it's super cute, the show. And as you notice, Clawdeen is already a little bit of a darker complexion, and lucky for us, so is Leah. This matches her skin tone pretty well. But I'm still going to add a base so that for those of you that are going to be using or want to transform any of the kids into Clawdeen Wolf, here's how. So I picked up two flesh tones. These are both Fab. That's tan and a little bit more of a chocolate brown. And I'm going to be using my kabuki brush. This one has a flat edge on it, and I love this one. It's great for creating that very seamless background color. It's also a little bit ticklish on the kids. So are you ready for this, Leah? Okay, so I just spritzed a little bit of water on the top of my paint, and then I just kind of move my kabuki around. You don't want to submerge your kabuki in water because then it just holds too much moisture. So I'm going to load it up just like this, and I can test it on my wrist to see if it's blending right away. Do I need more water? And when it's kind of a little stiffer on your hand, you're going to know that you're going to need a little bit more moisture. So I sprayed it again. Going to build up a good lather. You don't want it soaking wet, but you don't want it super dry either, or else it's not going to move. Okay, so once I have it loaded, I'm just going to brush on a layer. I know it's ticklish, but you see how fast and easy this is, and it gives almost like that foundation coverage. Another reason that you want to put the base down is because most of the Monster High characters really have embellished eyes, and they lift up their eyes and their eyebrows are higher arch. And the way to get that effect using face paint or using any type of makeup is you really want to try to conceal the eyebrows and draw your eye away from them as much as possible, so when you go to draw them, that you can almost erase this part. So if nothing else, work towards kind of hiding your eyebrows and packing on a little bit more paint in that area. So once your base is dry, I go in with a little bit lighter of a brown tan color. And like I said, my goal is to kind of hide at least half of her eyebrow there. So I'm packing on the paint right inside of there, still a water-based paint. And I'm using that to kind of conceal it so that we can use her natural eyebrow shape and go kind of build it up to give it that lifted effect. Now, in using my sponge and using this shimmer magenta, you've seen me use this effect for blush before. So I'm picking up the shimmer magenta and I just test it on my wrist, and this one is very purpley. But because Clawdeen Wolf has a lot more purples in her clothing and in her face and in her eyeshadow, this color will work okay. So I want to make sure it's not too wet so it doesn't lift up those colors. And then I'm just going to kind of draw a line from the top of her from the top of her ear, and I'm just going to kind of use that edge, and I'm going to blend it down just like that to give her a little bit more of a contoured edge. So remember, use the top of her ear as a guideline, and then I'm just going to kind of tap it in just like that, so I give her a little bit of that contoured cheek right there. Now the next step we're going to do is we're going to work on the actual eyes. So because Clawdeen Wolf has a little bit of glow of purple right underneath her eye, I'm going to use that same sponge, and I'm just going to pick up a little bit more. Again, you want to make sure that it's not too wet. And then I'm just going to gently tap it right underneath the eye right there on both sides. to just give it that underglow, right? The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to work on the eyebrows first so that we can build the eyeshadow around it. So I'm going to be mixing, because I don't want a total black, so I'm going to be mixing a dark brown with my black paint. I start at the corner of her eyebrow, and then I'm just going to make a straight line, and then I'm just going to arch it over, so that you'll see what it did. It created that elevated eyebrow. So what that's going to give us all that area to build our eyeshadow around and kind of play up this design. So the first thing that I'm going to do is, we're still using my same Athena brush, which is like a lighter purple. We're going to add that as her first layer of shadow. Starting from the corner of her eye, I'm going to head almost all the way up to the crease, and I'm just going to gently fill it in. Just like that, to give her first layer. That same shape, almost like to the top of the crease, the beginning of her natural eyebrow, and still I'm going to just color it in just like that. So you see that shape is starting to come about. So now I'm going to take an even lighter purple. I'm going to come off of the edge of her eyebrow and just kind of blend it in. So then the same thing on this side. I'll come here, trace it, head in that direction till finally they meet up. Now I'm going to bring in another purple, and this is our darker purple, and we're going to use that and kind of this crease right here. Trace her crease line and create that same line right inside of there and kind of bring it down along the edge. So now you can see that I really am bringing out those eyes. Now I'm going to go back to my chisel brush, and I'm just going to kind of trace over it to give it a little bit of a blend so that you don't have that straight line. So I'm also going to pick up a little bit of black and a little bit of brown on my brush, and again I mix them, but this time on my round brush, so that I can kind of emphasize her nose. So I'm just going to come off of the sides of her nose and bring it in just like that to give her a little bit more of that sinister look. So I'm just going to blend it out on both sides, kind of come at the bottom as well. I'm going to let everything else dry, especially her eye area, before I start creating the eyelashes on it, and we'll work on the lips. Now, Clawdeen Wolf also has her little fangs, so we're going to draw them directly on the lip. And then you're going to paint around it. Now, normally I would put on my lipstick first and then paint over it. Or you could do this step using red and white eyeliner pencil so that it's a little bit more waterproof. When you're using your water-based paints, on the lips, they definitely will kind of come right off, especially if the kid starts eating. So I'm going to start off first by making 2 little triangles directly on her lips. I'll let those dry for a second, and then I'm going to pick up my red paint and I'm going to line her top lip. So I'm going to come from the corner, trace over the top of her lips, and then I get to the top to where that little triangle is, and then I'm going to just fill it in. And then I'm going to give it kind of like a little flick out so that I'm extending it. So then I just go right in between, allow that time to dry my white. If you go on it while the white is still wet, it's going to bleed and you're going to get that pink. So then again, the teeth, so that you still get those teeth. Now finally we're going to get into the eyelashes. Now on her top lid she has a thicker lash, and on her bottom lid, or underneath her eyes, she has these wispies. I like mixing a little bit of a sparkle black with black so that it's not straight black, so strong on younger kids. So I pick up a little bit of the sparkle black, mix it with my wolf black so that I have somewhere in the middle, a happy medium. Now the stroke that you're looking for when you create her eyeshadow or her eyeline is you want to press and finish off on a tip. You don't want it thick all the way through. I'm going to start off, it's thicker as it's closest to the middle, and then it tapers off. And I'm going to bring it down a little bit to extend it. And then I'll come out and I'm just going to, on the tip, bring it up just like that. And then just came out on, finished off on this edge, and I just fanned it out. So then from the bottom of her eye, I just came out and created some bottom lashes. So I'm going to do the same thing on this side. I start in the corner of the eye, come out, just like that. And of course, for me anyways, there's nothing like glitter. So because her lips at this point are a little bit dry, I just want to use the glitter to embellish. So I'm going to just kind of re-moisten this area, take some of this magic magenta glitter and kind of just tap it right in the middle there so that it really makes it pop. And then I have an even more special treat for you guys. So FABAIC makes these super cool prosthetics. These, I'm not exactly sure what they're used for some sort of creature. So they're made out of a foam rubber latex, super easy to paint. And if you guys are familiar with Clawdeen Wolf, she has these fantastic ears. So I hot glued them to just a regular normal headband, and then all you have to do to paint them, it's super easy. Take your same kabuki brush and just run it over them. Now, yes, it would be easier to paint them before you glue them, but because I didn't have a lot of time, I glued them first to see if they would work, and it turns out they do. And these make the perfect Clawdeen Wolf ears. And then all you have to do is just get a few gold hoops and clip them in right on the ears to make it kind of like the perfect finishing touch. And then I found this wig hanging around Silly Farm, and even though Clawdeen's hair is kind of this orangish black color, I thought because she had all these purples and she has this fur in here, it would just kind of make it even more fun. So we're going to put this wig on her, and then we're going to put our little Clawdeen Wolf ears and complete the look. And there you have it, guys. You have a fabulous, super awesome Clawdeen Wolf from Monster High. That's not too hard to do. I'm sorry that I had to break it down in so many steps, but I just wanted you guys to really understand and get how you get this kind of elevated eye effect, and how you can just draw it on and have a little bit more fun with this costume instead of just your average everyday Monster High girl. Now you can use the face and really play it up. So how do you like it, Leah?
I like it.
She looks awesome. Okay, stay tuned for the other Monster High girls. Thanks for joining me, everybody.